But when you build your faith on a solid rock, when the wind comes, most of the time, the world won't notice the wind. The world won't notice your storm because you build your faith on a solid foundation. Across the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. Hello viewers, hello children of God, hello beloved. Thank you so much for clicking play this channel again. I feel so blessed when I come on this platform to share the word of God. Thank you so much, and I bless the name of the Lord for just allowing me to come on this platform and share the word of God with you. I'm excited. Thank you so much for always creating this audience. I don't take it for granted. My returning subscribers, I'm grateful. Thank you for sharing this content to your network. May God bless you, may God expand you, and may God enrich you, and may God meet you at your most point of need. And if you're here, you've just come across this beautiful channel. My name is Ruth. Here we share the word of God. We inspire and we motivate. So you've been looking for a channel to motivate you, to inspire you. Then you're in the right space. God has led you here with a purpose. Then I encourage you to stay up the end of this message today. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing this content down below here and put on the bell, so that anytime I upload a new video, you're always among us, the first people to be notified. Today I have a very interesting episode for you, and we're talking about standing on a solid rock. Today I have a question for you. Which kind of rock are you standing on? Are you standing on a solid rock, or are you standing on a rock that will be shaken? When the wind comes and blows, your rock is shaken. Ask yourself today in this message. And I'm praying, God, by the end of this message, you'll know where you're standing. And I pray that may you build your house on a solid rock. May you stand on a rock that is solid, that is firm. When the wind comes, your rock is firm and your rock is solid. And that rock is Jesus Christ. So our focus today is in the book of Matthew 7, verse 24. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. If you have the word of God with you, you can open Matthew 7, 24, and let's read together. I'm going to read from verse 24, build on the rock. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the solid rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. And so it was, when Jesus had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his teachings, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Building your house on a solid rock. When you build your house on a solid foundation, the rains will come, the wind will come, the floods will come, and your house will not be shaken. But when you build your house on sand, the rains will come, the floods will come, the rain will come, the wind will come, and it will be blown away, because your house has been built on a weaker sand. You have not built your house on a solid rock. Today we are talking about building your house on a solid rock. And in this specific chapter, it means not just a house. It means building your faith on a solid rock. When you build your faith on a solid rock, if you know whom you have believed and you build your faith on a solid rock, the wind will come, the floods will come, the rain will come, and you still stand firm because your faith has been built on a solid foundation. But if you build your faith on sand, a weaker sand, sand is weak, the rain will come, the floods will come, the wind will come, and it will be blown away because you have built your faith on a weaker foundation. Brethren, today I'm going to ask a question. Which solid rock have you built your faith on? Yes, you say you have been born again, you have salvation of Jesus Christ, but which rock have you built your faith on? You need to ask yourself that question. Many believers have dumped their faith. Many believers have stopped this journey of faith. Many believers have been discouraged on this journey of faith. They dump this faith and they go. They're done with it just because of the discouragement they get in the world full of evil, the world full of temptation. When the fire comes, when the wind blows, when the storm comes, they're shaken away and they fall apart because they build their faith on sand, on a weaker foundation. So today I want to give you an encouragement. I want to stir up your spirit. I want to motivate you, and I want to encourage you if you're a believer. And if you heard a voice from God, if the Lord spoke to you and you started this journey of faith, you need to stand firm and build your faith on a solid rock. Just as the word of God tells us in Matthew 7:24, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, if you do the work of God, if you follow the teachings of God, I will liken him as a wise man. You become a wise man and you build your house on a solid rock, which means when you obtain salvation and you follow the teachings of God, you follow the word of God, you are like a person who has built your house or your faith on a solid rock. When the wind comes, when the storm comes, you're not going to be shaken. Brethren, you need to build your faith on a solid rock. The devil has stolen many believers because when the devil comes, the devil finds your house to be very weak. Yes, you're born again. You claim you have the word of God, but you build your faith on a weaker foundation. When the devil comes, it finds your house without prayer. It finds your house open. Your house has no faith. Your house is weak. Your house has no prayer. Your house has no faith. Your house is full of murmuring. Your house is weak. When the storm comes, you're swayed away. You need to build your faith on a solid foundation. The book of Psalm 62, verse 1, I'm going to read from verse 1 to 2. The word of God tells us that truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. So truly my soul silently waits for God. For he is my salvation, and he is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, and I cannot be moved. When you stay firm in the word of God, God is your helper. You build your house, you build your faith on a strong foundation, and you cannot be shaken. When you build your faith on this firm rock, the rock of God, because he's our provider, he shields us, he protects us, he covers us, he rescues us. He's a firm foundation because he's the giver. He gives us all these things. When you are in the Lord, you get protected. You get your salvation. you get favor, you get empowered, you get wisdom, you get all that it takes when you are in salvation. When you build your faith on that solid rock, you get all that. You get salvation, you get protection, you get favor, you get wisdom, you get a strong foundation. So just being born again is not enough. Claiming you're born again is not enough. But you need to obtain salvation, but you also need to build your faith on a solid rock, a solid foundation. When the wind comes, it will not blow you away. You build your faith on a solid rock. We are living in a world that's full of evil. Many things are happening in this world. Temptations. The world is waiting for your downfall because you have proclaimed you love the Lord. The world will start asking you, where is your God? The world has questions. The world will need answers from you. The world is waiting for you. But you heard from God personally, and God spoke to you about salvation, and you surrendered your life to the Lord. You need to go further and build your faith on a solid rock. You need to build your faith. When the storm comes, you cannot be shaken. You're firm enough. You'll stand firm and say, I know whom I believed. You won't be shaken. When the world starts asking questions, you'll have answers, because the world will ask you, where is your God? Tell us the God you're trusting. Why are you in distress? Where is your God? The world has questions, and the world is waiting for you. Stand firm in the Word of God, because the Word of God will not fail. The Word of God will not be shaken. The Word of God will not be moved. In the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So when you build your faith on the Word of God, your faith will not be shaken. When you build your faith on worldly people, when you build your faith on decisions of other people, when you build your faith on decisions of other people, you'll be shaken. When you build your faith on other people's opinion, you're going to be shaken. When you build your faith on other people's decisions, you're going to be shaken. You need to build your faith on the Word of God. Make God a priority. Make the Word of God a priority in your faith. When you have questions, ask God in prayer. Ask God what you need. Make sure you stand firm in the Word of God. Declare the Word of God boldly and firmly. Tell the world how beautiful God is. Proclaim your faith openly. Proclaim your faith boldly. And when the storm comes, you're not going to be shaken. When the flood comes, you're not going to be swayed away. When the world comes with questions, you're not going to be swayed away. Stand firm in the Word of God. So I'm going to give you another reference, and I'm going to read from the book of Luke 6, chapter 6, verse 46. I'm going to read, build on the rock. But why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do the things which I say? Whoever comes to me and hears my sayings and does them, I will show you whom he is like. He is like a man building a house who dug deep and laid the foundation on the rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat against that house and could not shake it, for it was founded on the rock. But he who heard and did nothing is like a man who built a house on the earth without foundation, and against which the stream beat, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Building your house on a solid rock. When you obtain salvation, you don't just call Lord, Lord, but you need to follow His teachings. You need to follow the Word of God. You need to follow the teachings of the Word of God. You need to obey the word of God. Obeying the word of God is building your faith, your house on a solid rock. Obeying the word of God, following his teachings and doing of what he commands, it qualifies you to build your house or your faith on a solid rock. But when you build your house on a weak foundation, you don't follow God's instructions, you don't obey the word of God, you just call Lord, Lord, but you don't obey his teachings, it disqualifies you to building your house on a strong foundation. When the wind comes, it blows you away. That's why the world will start asking you questions about your God. The world will start asking you, so whom do you believe in? Because the world will see you being shaken. The world will see your wind. The world will see you being blown away. And the world will ask you questions. Your faith on a weak foundation. But when you build your faith on a solid rock, when the wind comes, most of the time, the world won't notice your wind. The world won't notice your storm. The world will not notice your rain. Because you build your faith on a solid foundation. Brethren, today is my prayer. Don't just call the name of the Lord. Don't just go around telling people about his salvation. But make sure you build your faith on a solid rock. Because the world is waiting to ask you questions. And when the world starts asking you questions, the word of God will prove itself in your life. Because the world will not notice your shame. The world will not be able to notice your rain, your storm, your wind. Because it will pass. It will pass silently. I encourage you today in this message. You need to build your faith. You need to build your faith on a strong foundation. Focus to seek the word of God more deeper. Dig deeper in the word of God. Dig deeper in his teachings. If you can go for Bible study, find Bible study around you. Build your faith in the word of God. Because faith comes by hearing and hearing more of the word of God. When you hear and hear more of the word of God, you build your faith. You build your faith, you have more wisdom, and then when the storm comes, it will find you firm in the Lord. The other way you can build your faith by praying. Pray more, seek God more, find God more deeper. When the storm comes, it will find you firm. And you won't be shaken. Is my prayer today by the end of this message, may you build your faith. Ask yourself, which rock have you built your house? Is your faith on a solid rock, or is your faith on a weaker sand? Is my prayer that may you find a place in the Lord. May you find a space in the word of God, and may you build your faith on a solid rock. The world is full of temptations. The world is full of evil people. The world is full of stormy seasons. When those seasons come, let those seasons find you on a strong foundation. I've shared on this platform the 4 seasons of life. Wilderness season, pruning season, harvesting season, name all those seasons. I'll tag that video somewhere here. When those seasons come, especially the wilderness season, the pruning season, make sure you build your faith on a solid rock, on a solid foundation. When the world comes with questions, let them find you in a strong foundation. When the world comes, when the storm comes, let them find you on a solid rock. Because the word of God tells us, when you build your faith by obeying the word of God, obeying God's teaching, obeying his commandments, you'll qualify yourself to building your faith on a solid rock. It is beautiful when your faith is built on a solid rock. Let the storms not find you when your faith is weak. Let not the stormy, the waves, the wind, let it not come and find your faith on a sand, on a weaker rock. Your house is empty. Your house has no prayer. Your house has no faith. Your house has no worship. Your house is empty and you're claiming of salvation. Your house is space. Your house has a vacuum. Let the storm find when your house is full of the Word of God. When your house is supercharged with the Word of God. Let your house be built on a strong foundation. Brethren, I hope you have learned something in this message. I came here to motivate you. I came here to inspire you and tell you when you build your faith on a solid rock, nothing will shake you. Nothing will storm you. Nobody will ask you questions. Nobody will ask you, where's your God? When you build your faith on a strong foundation. If there's something you need to ask God today, ask God to help you to build your faith on a strong foundation. May you seek God more deeper. May you seek the Word of God more deeper. May you go deeper in the Word of God. Don't be a lukewarm Christian. When the Word comes strongly, the world is asking you questions, and you submit to the world. Be a Christian who is deeper rooted in the Word of God. When the world comes, the world has nothing to ask you because they can see the goodness of God in your life. They can see the favor of God in your life. When the world comes with questions, they can see the glory of God. They can see the favor of God over your life. Let the world find you when you're stronger built in a firm foundation of the Lord. May you strive to seek God. Seek God more because you'll find Him. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope this video has inspired you. If you have liked this video, kindly give this video a thumbs up and please tell someone about Jesus today. And I encourage you also to watch our previous videos on this platform to the glory and honor of God. Thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so down below here and put on the bell. Subscription is free. Or anytime I upload these powerful messages, we are always among the first people to be notified. And please tell someone about Jesus today. And until next time, goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless you.